Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Uday Khanna from Chandigarh Group of College, Landra, Mohali. Today we are going to talk on module Sampling and Sampling Distribution. Under it, Sampling Distribution of X bar under the paper Quantitative Techniques for Management Decisions. After completing this module, the students will be able to first understand sampling distribution of X bar. Second, understand implication of central limit theorem. Third, learn sampling from normal population. And last, they understand sampling distribution of proportion. The sampling distribution of the sample mean denoted by X bar is a concept that is required to understand right from the sample collection to analysis till the meaningful interpretation is drawn from the sample. A sampling distribution is a graph of a statistics for your sample data. Some common statistics that you will come across are first, mean, second, mean absolute value of the deviation from the mean, third, range, fourth, standard deviation of the sample, fifth, unbiased estimate of variance, and last is variance of the sample. What is mean? If you are trying to find the mean in statistics, what you are looking for most of the time is the average of a data set, that is, the arithmetic mean. The arithmetic mean is the average of a set of data. To find the mean, add up all the numbers and then divide by the number of items in the set. For example, the average of 1, 2, 6, 8, 10 is 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 5 is equal to 5.4. What is range? It is the difference between the biggest and smallest values in the set. The range in statistics is a measure of spread. It is the difference between the highest value and the lowest value in a data set. The rule of thumb says that the range is about 4 times the standard deviation. The standard deviation is another measure of spread in statistics. It tells you how your data is clustered around the mean. What the rule of thumb tells you in most cases is that the bulk of the data can be found pretty close to the mean within couple of standard deviations. That means those erroneous outliers should have very little effect on your final statistics. What is standard deviation? Standard deviation is a measure of disbursement in statistics. Disbursement just means how much your data is spread out. Specifically, it shows you how much your data is spread out around the mean or average. For example, are all your scores close to the average, or are lots of scores way above or way below the average score? The bell curve, what statisticians call a normal distribution, is commonly seen in statistics as a tool to understand standard deviation. The following graph of a normal distribution represents a great deal of data in real life. The mean or average is represented by the Greek letter mu in the center. Each segment colored in dark blue to light blue represent one standard deviation away from mean. For example, 2 sigma means 2 standard deviation from the mean. A normal distribution curve can represent hundreds of situations in real life. Have you ever noticed in class that most students get C while a few gets A's or F's? That can be modeled with a bell curve. People's weight, heights, nutrition habits, and exercise regimes can also be modeled with graphs similar to this one. That knowledge enables companies, schools, and governments to make predictions about future behavior. For behavior that fit this type of bell curve, like performance on the CAT exam, you will be able to predict that 34.1 plus 34.1%, that makes 68.2% of students will score very close to the average score, or one standard deviation away from the mean. It tells you how tightly your data is clustered around the mean. When the bell curve is flattened, your data is spread out. You have a large standard deviation. Your data is further away from the mean. When the bell curve is very steep, your data has a small standard deviation. Your data is tightly clustered around the mean. For example, the graph on the left might represent an abnormally high number of students getting scores close to the average, while the graph on the right represents more students getting score away from the average. You can see in the figure there are two different figures available. In one, the standard deviation is steep, is less, while in other case the bell curve is more flattened. Here we have the large standard deviation. In short, sampling distribution relates to introductory statistical inference, which includes normal distribution, confidence intervals, and hypothesis testing. Proper analysis and interpretation of a sample statistic require knowledge of its distribution. If repeated random samples are chosen from the same population, the values of the sample mean, denoted by small x bar, will vary from sample to sample. The resulting sampling distribution, capital X bar, is the distribution of these sample mean, small x bar values for a large number of samples. Consider a normal population with mean mu and variance sigma square. Assume we repeatedly take samples of a given size from this population and calculate the arithmetic mean small x bar for each sample. This statistics is called the sample mean. Each sample has its own average value, and the distribution of these averages is called the sampling distribution of the sample mean. This distribution is normal, mu, standard sigma square divided by n, where small n is the sample size, when the underlying population is normal. Although sampling distribution may also often be close to normal even when the population distribution is not. Suppose that we draw all possible samples of size small n from a given population. Suppose further that we compute a statistics, example, a mean, proportion, standard deviation for each sample. The probability distribution of this statistics is called a sampling distribution, and the standard deviation of this statistics is called a standard error. For example, if you compute the mean of a sample of 10 numbers, the value you obtain will not equal the population mean exactly. By chance, it will be a little bit higher or a little bit lower. If you sampled sets of 10 numbers over and over again, computing the mean for each set, you would find that some sample means comes much closer to the population means than others. Some would be higher than the population mean and some would be lower. Imagine sampling 10 numbers and computing the mean over and over again, say about 1000 times, and then constructing a relative frequency distribution of those 1000 means. This distribution of means is a very good approximation to the sampling distribution of the mean. The sampling distribution of the mean is a theoretical distribution that is approached as the number of samples in the relative frequency distribution increases. With 1000 samples, the relative frequency distribution is quite close. With 10,000, it is even closer. As the number of samples approaches infinity, the relative frequency distribution approaches the sampling distribution. Standard error. The standard deviation of the sampling distribution of a statistics is referred to as the standard error of that quantity. For the cases where the statistics is the sample mean and samples are uncorrelated, the standard error is given by the formula sigma sub x bar is equal to sigma divided by square root of n, where sigma is the standard deviation of the population distribution of that quantity and small n is the sample size, that is number of items in the sample. An important implication of this formula is that the sample size must be quadrupled multiplied by 4 to achieve half the measurement error. When designing statistical studies where cost is a factor, this may have a role in understanding cost-benefit trade-offs. You can see in the diagram given below how the process of inferential statistics start around. Simply, you start with selecting a random sample, then you take a sample small x bar, that is called statistics. From there, you calculate small x bar to estimate the value of mu, that is population mean. Population mean mu is a parameter which helps again to select a random sample, and the cycle goes on. Central limit theorem. Suppose we take numerous simple random samples of a given size n from a normal distribution with population mean mu and standard deviation sigma. Then we compute the mean for each of those samples. Now some of these samples means will be less than mu and some will be greater than it, thus giving us the sampling distribution. If we plot the sample means using a histogram, we'll see that they are normally distributed, where the mean and standard deviation of the sampling distribution x bar are approximately equal to the mean and standard deviation of the population. If the original population has a normal distribution with mean mu and standard deviation sigma, then plotting the sample means for the simple random samples, that is SRS, each containing an observation, will produce a sampling distribution that also follows a normal distribution. If the original population does not have a normal distribution, but each SRS, that is simple random sample, has a large n, where most tests suggest n should be greater than 30, then plotting the sample means will produce a sampling distribution that has an approximate normal distribution. This result is called as central limit theorem. So the central limit theorem states that if a large enough sample is taken, typically n should be greater than 30, then the sampling distribution of x bar is approximately a normal distribution with a mean of mu and a standard deviation of sigma square root n. Therefore, mu x bar is equal to mu and sigma x bar is equal to sigma divided by square root of n. Sampling distribution of sample statistics. Two common statistics are sample mean, x bar, and sample proportion, p hat. Sample statistics are random variables because they vary from sample to sample. As a result, sample statistics also have a distribution called the sampling distribution. These sampling distributions have a mean and standard deviation. The standard deviation of a sampling distribution is also termed as standard error. Thus, the standard error is simply the standard deviation of a sampling distribution. The sample mean, small x bar, is a statistics whose value is the average of sample data drawn from a population. For random samples of size small n taken from a given population, the random variable x bar is the collection of these samples mean, the small x bar. Like any random variable, capital X bar has a probability distribution associated with it, that is the shape, mean, and the standard deviation. The probability distribution created by plotting sample means, the small x bar, is the sampling distribution of the mean x bar. Example, Consider taking two random samples, each sample consisting of 10 students from a class, and calculating the mean height in each sample. Would you expect both samples' means to be exactly the same? No. The two samples' mean would be different because of random sampling error. If you were to repeatedly pull samples of 10 students from the population of all students and compute the mean of each sample, you could construct a distribution of sample means. That distribution of sample means, that is, sampling distribution, would have a mean that is equal to the population mean mu and a standard deviation that is known as the standard error. The sampling distribution of X bar depends on, first, distribution of the original population. For example, is it normal, skewed, uniform, or symmetric? Second, the sample size n. Third, the methods of sample selection. Let's review some frequently used symbols and note the different symbols used for sample statistics and population parameters in a given table. For example, we represent mean by X bar in sample statistics and by mu in population as population parameter. We represented proportion as p hat in sample statistics and small p in population parameter. We represent variance as small x square in sample statistics and sigma square in population parameter. We represent standard deviation by small s in sample statistics and sigma in population parameter. Sampling distribution of mean. For example, suppose you randomly sampled 10 people from the population of women in Dehradun, Uttarakhand between the ages of 21 and 35 years of age and compute the mean height of your sample. You would not expect your sample mean to be equal to the mean of all women in Dehradun. It might be somewhat lower or it might be somewhat higher, but it would not equal the population mean exactly. Similarly, if you take a second sample of 10 people from the same population, you would not expect the mean of this second sample to equal the mean of the first sample. This distribution of mean of samples is termed as sampling distribution of mean. Recall that inferential statistics concern generalizing from a sample to a population. A critical part of inferential statistics involves determining how far sample statistics are likely to vary from each other and from the population parameter. In this example, the sample statistics are the sample means and the population parameter is the population mean. These determinations are based on sampling distribution. Therefore, sampling distributions are important for inferential statistics. In the example given so far, a population was specified and the sampling distribution of the mean and the range were determined. In practice, the process proceeds the other way. You collect sample data and from these data you estimate parameters of the sampling distribution. This knowledge of the sampling distribution can be very useful. For example, knowing the degree to which means from different samples would differ from each other and from the population mean would give you a sense of how close your particular sample mean is likely to be to the population mean. Fortunately, this information is directly available from a sampling distribution. The most common feature of how much sample mean differ from each other is the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the mean. This standard deviation is called the standard error of the mean. If all the sample means were very close to the population mean, then the standard error of the mean would be small. On the other hand, if the sample means varied considerably, then the standard error of the mean would be large. To be specific, assume your sample mean were 125 and you estimated that the standard error of the mean were 5. If you had a normal distribution, then it would be likely that your sample mean would be within 10 units of the population mean, since most of a normal distribution is within 2 standard deviations of the mean. Characteristics of the sampling distribution of a mean. When sampling from a normal population whose mean is mu and standard deviation is sigma is taken, then all possible samples of size n are selected from a normal population. Then, the sampling distribution of a mean has the following three characteristics. First, the sampling distribution of the mean is a normal distribution regardless of sample size small n. Second, the mean of the sample distribution of the mean mu x bar is equal to the mean of the population mu, that is mu x bar is equal to mu. The standard error of the sampling distribution of the mean sigma sub x bar is equal to the standard deviation of the population sigma divided by the square root of the sample size n, that is sigma sub x bar is equal to sigma divided by square root of small n. Since in practice we usually do not know mu or sigma, we estimated these by small x bar and s square root of n respectively. In this case, small s is the estimate of sigma and is the standard deviation of the sample. The expression small x square root of small n is known as the standard error of the mean, labeled as capital SE bracket small x bar. Now quickly consider a population of 5 working people who are all neighbors in Gurgaon. They are asked to list the number of kilometers they used to travel daily for work. And the people are like the Rakesh travel 50 kilometers, Suresh 30, Aman 80 kilometers, Vinayak 60 kilometers and Yash 120 kilometers. Now the population mean of the set of data mu is given by the 40 plus 30 plus 80 plus 60 plus 120 divided by 5 is equal to 68. Now let's say population standard deviation sigma is equal to 5 that we derived from the previous studies. Now we can have a sample of 2 persons, that is n is equal to 2, and find the mean x bar to estimate mu, like Rakesh and Aman, then Rakesh and Suresh, and likewise. Then we can list all possible samples of 2 people and then calculate the mean x for each sample. For example, you have taken Rakesh and Aman. The data of both are given as 50 plus 80 is 130 divided by 2, the mean becomes 65. Same way, Rakesh and Suresh, 50 plus 30, 80 divided by 2 becomes 40, and likewise. Now the data set of all the samples mean in column 3 is called a sampling distribution of the mean. If the population being sampled is a normal distribution, then the sampling distribution of the mean is a normal distribution regardless of the sample size small n. Formulas. The sample standard deviation formula is given by small s is equal to square root of summation x minus x bar square divided by n minus 1, where s is equal to sample standard deviation, summation is equal to sum of, x bar is equal to sample mean, and n is equal to number of scores in sample. The population standard deviation formula is given by sigma is equal to square root of summation x minus mu square divided by n, where sigma is equal to population standard deviation, summation is equal to sum of, mu is equal to population mean, and n is equal to number of scores in sample. The z value for the sampling distribution of x bar is given by z is equal to bracket x bar minus mu divided by sigma divided by square root of n, where x bar is equal to sample mean, mu is equal to population mean, sigma is equal to population standard deviation, and n is equal to sample size. Or the formula become z is equal to x bar minus mu divided by sigma sub bar x. Here the value of confidence coefficient, that is called z, is given in the table. For example, we normally have z as 95% and the value is given as 1.96. Some cases we also take z as 99%. Value is given as 2.58 and likewise. Sample proportion. A sample proportion is where a random subject of object small n is taken from a population P. If X objects have a certain characteristics, then the sample proportion P becomes X by N. For example, 100 people are asked if they are non-vegetarian. If 40 people respond yes, then the sample proportion P is equal to 40 divided by 100. That is 40%. Sampling distribution of the proportion. In a population of size n, suppose that the probability of the occurrence of an event dubbed as success is P, and the probability of the event's non-occurrence dubbed as failure is Q. From this population, suppose we draw all possible samples of size small n, and finally, within each sample, suppose that we determine the proportion of successes P and failures Q. In this way, we create a sampling distribution of the proportion. The sampling distribution of a proportion is when you repeat your survey for all possible samples of the population. For example, instead of polling 100 people once to ask if they are non-vegetarian, you will poll them multiple times to get a better estimate of your statistics. We find that the mean of the sampling distribution of the proportion mu p is equal to the probability of success in the population P, and the standard error of the sampling distribution sigma p is determined by the standard deviation of the population sigma, the population size, and the sample size. Mean of sampling distribution of the proportion. The mean of sampling distribution of the proportion P is a special case of the sampling distribution of the mean. The mean of the sampling distribution of the proportion is related to the binomial distribution. Standard deviation of sampling distribution of the proportion. If a random sample of n observation is taken from a binomial population with parameter P, the sampling distribution, that is all possible samples taken from the population, will have a standard deviation, which is given by a formula of standard deviation of binomial distribution is equal to sigma p, that is square root of p multiplied by q divided by n, where q is equal to 1 minus p. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. First, the sampling distribution is a theoretical distribution of a sample statistics. Second, there is a different sampling distribution for each sample statistics. Third, each sampling distribution is characterized by parameters, two of which known, mu and sigma. The latter is called the standard error. Fourth, the sampling distribution of the mean is a special case of the sampling distribution. The central and the last one, the central limit theorem, relates the parameter of the sampling distribution of the mean to the population model and is very important in statistical thinking. Thank you.